Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. Excited to have this young gentleman on. Alex D. Tremble is with us today. I love the title of the show he picked. I have all the guests pick their title. Don't just look back, reach back. There's something there. We're also going to find out what the D, why it's Alex D. Tremble. We're going to talk about his journey. Welcome, Alex. How are you today?
I am doing fantastic, and thank you so much for having me on today, kind sir.
I am excited to have you on. You have your own show, which we'll talk about that. You are out there just like me, out there talking to people, learning from people, educating people, inspiring people. But before we get into all that, I told you before we went live here that they love the origin story. The audience wants to know about you, kind of your journey to get to here, kind of your journey to know why you're allowed to have the Alex Tremble Show. And how that got you where you're at today. So give us the journey.
Oh, yeah. It started off in a galaxy far, far away. There is this
I
green
kind of
guy.
asked for that.
Oh, well, honestly, it's been just a story of being blessed throughout my life. It started off with me overseeing the executive development program for the U.S. Department of the Interior. Now, that's really cool in itself, but I was given that opportunity when I was 24, 23 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, made no sense. But I'm not going to question them, right? And
Right.
and in that role, I had the opportunity to be mentored by so many of the government's most senior level executives, and I learned there were things that they did that not only elevated them to success, but kept them in that success that just other people didn't do. And once I learned that and implemented it to my own life, my career in life just took off. And so now that's what I do is I go around the country, talk and train on these topics. But recently, as you mentioned, I started the Alex Tremble Show, which is literally taking those ideas from these most senior level executives in the private, nonprofit, and government sectors and sharing their ideas, thoughts with everyone who wants to improve in their life and in their career.
I have many questions. So first of all, did you have a background when you got that job and you learned? Is that something you just learned as you went trial and error, or did you have some innate training or some sort of training in the background for you to have such great insight at such a young age?
Honestly speaking, I was going through my master's program in industrial and organizational psychology with an
Whew.
emphasis with the emphasis in leadership. So I already had that passion, but in that realm of work, everyone would say leadership is great. Leadership is the thing that everyone wants to do, but you can't do leadership until you're 10, 15 years into your career. And I was able to show is no, that is not true. If you build the right relationships, if you put yourself in situations where you can learn and grow from those people who do those things, they can then act as your promoters, your sponsors, and push you into those areas.
Yes. So tell us what it's like if somebody secures you or wants you to speak and educate. What's it like in a presentation? Do you talk about basics? Do you gear it toward that particular company? Tell them what they would experience if they were to contract you or engage you.
Well, the first thing they would experience is the utmost and the best customer service. And I say it a little, smiling and joking, but to be completely honest, it all starts with customer service. How do I provide value? And that's everything I teach and everything I do is how do you provide value to other people? And if we're talking, so my expertise lies in leadership, networking, influence in general, and political savvy. And if you think about what all that comes down to, it's how do you provide value to other people? Because people like people who give them stuff. At the end of the
They
day,
do.
people like people who give them stuff. And so the interesting part and the creative part and the cool part is understanding what do those individuals want and need that you can give them, and how can you give them those things in such a way that it provides value to them, they understand the value, and it builds the relationship that you have between you and those individuals.
And so I love that because that's what I understand that thought process because early on, I feel like we're taught so many wrong things in school about what's important. It sounds to me like you listen to them, You work on a plan with them, and it's not always about what they think it's about. It's not always about
Mhm.
money.
Mhm.
It's not. There's so many other factors that go
Yes.
into it. So if I'm saying to you, Alex, I want to have you, I've got, let's say I have issues at my company or my team. I really would love your insights. Do you go in, roll your sleeves up, get to know everybody? How does that work?
Oh yeah, that's absolutely the first thing you have to do, right? That's where most people, and especially consultants and trainers, go wrong. It's just going in and giving the same skill they giving to someone else. You need to understand the organization, the culture of that organization, what their true needs and wants are. Because the reality is, and you know this, Ted, there are so many organizations who will hire someone and say, "Hey, we need you to do a talk on X." And then you start doing the talk and no one's listening, no one's paying attention, and it's not helping the organization because they thought they needed X, but really it was Y. And you can
Correct.
only do that if you have those conversations with the leadership, you get the buy-in. And honestly, just the process of going in and asking questions starts to build buy-in from those employees in the ranks because they say, oh, you're not just going to go in there and speak at us. You actually care about what we're saying. That's weird.
And I feel like that's engagement. I just talked about this earlier today. If you're not engaging the people that you are trying to build up, and you
Mhm.
don't ask them the right questions or get them involved, just like you said, you may be throwing a whole bunch of money or something else at them, thinking that that's
Mhm.
how it can be resolved, when in reality, they have other needs and other wants and things they'd rather see that you could actually engage them with. And the more engaged your people are, I can't stress this enough, the more engaged your people are, the
Mhm.
better the whole business planning and the environment and all of
Yep.
those culture that you talked about certainly is.
Look, look, here's my thing. Preach, preacher. I agree with you wholeheartedly. And you said something earlier that it is again about not only providing value, it's providing the value that they want, right? And that's
Yes.
where people mess up so often. It's like, yeah, has anyone ever given you a sweater and be like, hey, here you go, a sweater? And then you're like, oh, this is nice. And you sit it off to the side. You never wear it. It doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't make them a bad person. But the reality is, when they gave that to you, they gave you something that was valuable to them. They felt was valuable. But what about you? You're the one receiving it. And so instead of just giving people what we want to give them and being upset if they don't love it and they disengage with it, how about we just ask them what they want?
It's such a simple thing, right? But I feel like as leaders tend to get all caught up in their head, they've got all these details going on, and
Mhm.
they just want to fix the problem immediately. In general, I'm speaking.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
But if
yeah.
they would take just a little extra time to engage the people that they're working with, that they're actually trying to provide a better
Yes.
environment and better working tools with, it would go so far. But we're all caught up in our own heads and
Mhm.
our realization, our thing. Just like you said, this is what we're giving you because this is what we think will
Mhm.
work for you, without engaging them.
And that's exactly why I created my strategic relationship building model, which is the C4 model. It is because most people kind of again run into those situations thinking they know what they need to be telling someone, and instead there's a whole process and methodology around building those relationships and collecting that information. If I can share really quickly,
Please do.
um, C4 stands for the first thing is mindset change. So that's the C, is the change, right? The reality is it doesn't matter what influence, what relationship building processes and ideas and strategies we teach you. If you don't first understand that one, those things are of value, and two, it doesn't make you a sleazy person to utilize these strategies. Now that's the biggest hurdle because so many people have heard and watched these shows and things about how people manipulate people. Oh, I'm never going to be like that. Well, no, you can. It's like fire. Fire can be used for good. Fire can be used for bad. But these are skills that are required to be successful. And anyone who's ever attended a public speaking class or ever learned about the sandwich technique when we're giving feedback, those are all strategies. You can use them for good, for bad. So the first thing is mindset change. The second thing is internal clarity. Internal clarity is understanding yourself. What do I want? What do I need out of this situation? Where are my goals? What are my aspirations? Where am I most comfortable? I always tell people, like, when you're out building relationships and having conversations with people, if you're wearing a scratchy suit or the sun's in your eyes and you're squinting, that person's looking at you.
Oh
And
yeah.
they see all the behavior. They're like, do they not want to be here? What's that? Are they frustrated? Are they tired? And they're not gonna expect the what you're thinking. Oh, just the sun's in my eyes, or I'm itchy. They're gonna think the most negative thing, unfortunately. So,
Correct.
internal clarity, understanding yourself, what you want, who you are, where you want to be. The next thing is external clarity. Now you focus on those individuals. Who are they? What are their interests? What are their friends? Who are their enemies? What are their goals? There is a number of different techniques I teach in my trainings and in my workshops and my talks, but one of my love is the PPF. If you can find someone's personal goals, their professional goals, or their financial goals, and you can solve for those, you're golden. But
Amen.
in order to do that, you have to talk to them, right?
Imagine that, right?
And so after external, external, now the last thing is behavior choice. The last thing. This is the thing what everyone loves to do, is to talk about, is shaking someone's hand and looking them in the eyes. And what should I say? And what should I do? It doesn't matter what you say and what you do if first, the mindset change, because you won't implement those things. It doesn't matter what you say and what you do if you don't have internal clarity, because you don't know what you're influencing them to do. If you don't, it doesn't matter what you say and what you do if you don't have external clarity, if you don't know who those people are you should be influencing and why you should be influencing them. But then that last part is behavioral clarity, that behavior choice, where that allows you to understand, what do I say? What do I do to help convince these individuals that what I'm saying is in their best interest and I can help them out?
4Cs, y'all. You got to check out. And we've got all of Alex's websites scrolling across the bottom there. But I love the 4Cs. And I love that there's two having to do with clarity, because I think clarity is just critical. All of those are critical. So those are great, by the way. All right. So I have two last questions I have to ask.
Yeah.
Don't just look back, reach back. Why? What was that? I love this title.
Yes. This is something that's become so important to me. And I leave every single one of my podcast episodes at the Alex Trumbull Show with that same statement. When it's so easy to listen to myself. There's so many people, easy to listen to Ted say, hey, that was really good. I learned so much. And now I'm going to continue my life. That person over there, they should have been here. If they would have been here, they would have learned this. No, it is not up for you or I to judge those individuals. Take that information. Don't just look back at who's behind you. Reach back. Find a way to share this information with them. Find a way to bring them to this information. Help others out. And if we can, again, it comes back down to also just relationship building. The more people you can help, the more influence you build, and the stronger those relationships get. So I'm always talking about this.
So good. Yes, say that again too, because I think people are like, God, Ted, you know so many people. Well, it's about relationship building. And what does that do? I'm sorry, it just brings you into a whole new world.
Oh, yeah.
Are there things that I do, seeds I plant, that I'm never going to get anything from that particular seed or that particular plant, but I'll get it a million other different ways, a million other different directions. I love that. All right. And then what about the D? It's Alex D. Trumbull.
Okay, so you asked for it. Now this gets a little deep. Okay. So everyone should know that there is nothing in life that is positive that does not have some sort of negative in it. I'm a believer that in order to get to anywhere of success, you had to go through some sort of challenge, some sort of pain. And the reality is I am technically, legally, Alex Dwayne Trumbull Jr. But my biological person left when I was a kid. And I spent up until, actually, if I'm being real with myself, up to a few years ago, doing everything I could to do well in life, the hope that one day he would want to be a part of my life. And, recently I realized I didn't need to be working for him, even though I didn't know I was doing it. I was doing it. I wanted to impress him. And my mom and I had a conversation. She's like, no, this is about you. This is about, again, reaching out to others in your family, your lineage. And so I was like, you know what? I don't need to be a junior. Yes, it's legally there, but I'm going to separate myself. I am Alex D. Trumbull. I don't need the junior anymore. So sorry, it's a different.
I love that. Well, same reason here. I'm a junior. We could talk about that all day long. Never use it. All right, Alex, what's the best way for them to find your show, find out more about you, engage with you? I've got the website scrolling across there. Just let them know, because I'd love to continue this conversation too.
Oh, definitely. Please reach out to me at LinkedIn.com. That is the best place. I love to interact with people on LinkedIn.com. Find the podcast, thealextrembleshow.com, or any of your podcasting sites. And look, I love to hear from you. Ted, love to hear from you. Just reach out to us and let's have some conversations.
Amen. Thank you so much. That was excellent. I got nuggets out of there. I also got some clarification and some verification and some validation out of the things that you said today. So you're a joy, man. I'd love to have you back anytime. Let's keep talking. I think people need to hear the message that you have. Reach out to Alex, alextremble.com or thealextrembleshow.com, or I'll tag you. You're tagged in everything. Yes. Reach out to him that way, or I'll get you in touch. Alex, what a joy. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Ted. Looking forward to chat again.
Sounds good, buddy.